Well, first, I mean, it's kind of a surreal experience, you know, because it's Tim is such a known quantity, he's such a brilliant director. He's a guy that, you know, to me, he kind of is his own genre. You know, his stuff is very specific. So it was neat to get to walk into one of those worlds, you know, because he doesn't just make a movie; he builds a world and a feeling and a tone and, you know, everything. And he's very detail-oriented and nuance-oriented, and he's a wonderful director, so it was an incredible experience.
He makes you feel very, very welcome, you know, and it's a big movie, and, you know, there's a lot going on, particularly in my first few days. So it was really nice to know that you're working for someone who's, you know, very welcoming and very kind. It makes you feel important and makes you feel very happy to be there. I'm wearing some makeup, yes. And I have a wig. Oh, I have a wig. That's not my hair. So I had a bald head while I was shooting Dark Shadows. So we get to choose, you know, completely. You get to change your hairline and stuff like that, and the color and everything. It goes a long way. So.
The whole getup was awesome. You know, Paul Gooch with the hair. I mean, I've got a cool '70s look going, albeit a very tattered, disheveled, you know, balding '70s look. But yeah, it was cool. It was phenomenal. I mean, there was it was just set after set too. I mean, the mansion was incredibly detailed and was just magnificent. Collinport, they built like 3 or 4 square blocks up on rafters, no less, next to that big, huge water tank where it was, you know, big boats were in that thing. It was surreal. I mean, it was so huge that it was almost kind of mind-boggling that, oh my God, they built this whole thing.
Yeah, they had over, you know, most of the stages at Pinewood were taken over by Dark Shadows, and the back lot. It was extraordinary build, you know. What's incredible with Jonny had this incredibly, you know, large workload on this job and a lot of makeup. You know, so he's there for hours and hours doing all of that, and yet still, always in great humor, you know, and always really on the ball with his, you know, with his dialogue and stuff like that. I mean, stuff that you would expect, but it's really nice when someone's so down to earth and so friendly and professional, and you're like, oh yeah, you really deserve to be in that position in your industry, quite frankly. You know what I mean?
Michelle as well, like you said, I think you nailed it. They're very humble, you know, and wonderfully talented. I mean, just what a great experience to get to play across from them, you know. I was aware of the show. I'd seen little bits and pieces of it. I remember as a kid, you know, I clearly remember the spinning thing and the doo-woo sound and stuff, but I wasn't like a huge fan. My wife was one of the ones that ran home from school, you know, to watch the show. And this buddy of mine, I didn't even know this until I told him. I said, hey, I'm gonna do this part Willie Loomis in Dark Shadows. And he goes, what? And he proceeded to tell me, you know, this cat that I had known for 20 years, his name was Barnabas, and then I found out who the cat was named after. My buddy told me he had almost every single episode recorded. He recorded himself on VHS, I guess when it reran a little later. But yeah, it's a phenomenon.